Hello everyone, welcome to our online classes. In the last class in Zoom we have done relations and before that we have done Cartesian products of two sets. In this video basically we will do a revision to the relations and then we will proceed to functions. So for this I will recommend you to see the previous video of Cartesian products of two sets. It will be easier to understand. So let us first discuss our syllabus about relations for the boards. Okay. So let us proceed to the topic relations. In literal sense, the relation means some kind of rule that will link two elements of a set or two elements from two different sets. Suppose we are taking the set A and we are taking two elements from that. If we see somehow these two elements are related to each other by some rule, then that rule will be the relation, and we will see that we say that the element A is related to B. In the same manner, suppose we are taking the elements A from the set capital A and B from the set capital B, and if we see that somehow by some rule we can link the elements A and B, then that will be called a relation from A to B, and here the relation is on the single set A. So whatever it is, it should be a rule that will be linking two elements of the set. So for example, let us take this one. Say we are taking A as 1, 2, 3, 4 and B as the two words even and odd. So then how we can link the elements of the set A with the elements of the set B? See, if you take the sets like this, like a Venn diagram, A and B, and write the elements here and the elements of B here, then we will see that 1 and 3 has the nature odd, that is these two numbers are odd, so we can link this element 1 with odd and also 3 with odd, and similarly 2 and 4 are even numbers, so we can link these 2 and 4 with the term even. So this is a rule, that is the nature of the number that links the elements of A with the elements of B. So here we can say A is related to B if A has the nature B. Means if A is an even number, then A should be related to even. If A is an odd number, then it should be related to odd. So in this way we are defining the relation here. So this is the rule, or we can say this rule is the relation that A has the nature B. Okay. For another example, let us take A as a set of boxes of colors red, green, yellow and blue. This is a set, that means it has 4 boxes of 4 different colors, and B is the set of pens of different colors. Of color red, green, yellow and blue. So somehow we want to link the elements of A with the elements of B. So how that we can do? We can do it using the colors of the objects. So we can define the rule R as keep the pen in a box of center. That means if you take a red pen, then you will keep it in the red box. If you take a blue pen, you will keep the pen in the blue box. In this way, we can keep the pens of different colors in the respective box of that color. So in this way, we can define the relation between the elements of these two sets. So for a diagrammatic view, we take the sets like this. This is the set A with 4 boxes of 4 different colors: red, green, yellow and blue. And here you are taking the pens here of 4 different colors again. This is red, this is green, this is yellow, this is blue. So in this region all the red pens are there, in this region all the green pens are there, in this region all the yellow, and here it is all the blue pens. So all the red pens will be kept in the set red, all the green pens will be kept in the set green, all the yellow pens will be kept in the region yellow, in the box yellow, and all the blue pens will be kept in the box blue. So in this way we can define the relation. That means this region will be related to this region. So we are linking this box with this region. In this way we can link all the elements. So this is another example of defining relation between two sets. So let us come to the mathematical terminology for relations. So when we are writing it mathematically, we usually try to express this term A is related to B using this symbol ARB, where R is the rule or R is the relation. So whenever two elements A and B are related to each other, we will write ARB. In the previous example, where A was 1, 2, 3, 4 and B was even and odd, we can write it like this: 1 R, and if the relation is R, that A is of the nature B. If this is the relation, then we can write 1 R odd, 2 R even, 3 R odd, 4 R even. So in this way we can write the relation, because here we can see all the elements, how they are related to the elements of the second set. So in this way also we can express the relation or the link between the elements of these two sets. A more convenient way to write the relation is like this. We will consider for the term ARB the ordered pair AB. That means whenever some element A is related to some element B, that is we can write ARB, we will consider this ordered pair AB. And then will consider the set of all these ordered pairs such that A is related to B. So see, from this set we can see which element is related to which one. Okay? So in this way we can express the relation in the set builder form, and we name the set as R. So that will express the relation between the two sets. If the sets are A and B, then we can say that R is a relation between A and B. Like here we can write this relation R is a relation between A and B. So how we can write this relation R in this set builder form? See here we can see which element are related to which one. So here for this relation we can write it as this 1. Since 1 are odd, then we can write 1 ordered pair odd. Similarly, 2 ordered pair even, 3 ordered pair odd, and 4 ordered pair even. So by this set we can express the relation A is of the nature B between these two sets. So we can say that R is a relation between A and B. So this is the most convenient way to express the relation between A and B with its elements. Okay, let us now come to the definition of the relation. Suppose we are taking some relation R from A to B. This thing we can write like this. R from means this column. R from A, this arrow means to B. So R from A to B is a relation, and we define it like this: ordered pair AB such that ARB means we are taking all those ordered pairs which are related to each, where the elements are related to each other. Now see, the elements are here ordered pairs, and previously we have seen these elements A comma B, where A is from the set capital A and B is from the set capital B, are basically the elements of the set A cross B. So if you consider the set A cross B, you will see that it will contain all those elements ordered pair AB, where A belongs to A and B belongs to B. So what is the relation between these two sets? See, we are basically taking these elements only with some particular condition, that is A is related to B. So we can consider this set R as a subset of this A cross B. So that we take as the definition of a relation. Let me write it here. That a relation from A to B is a subset of A cross B. So this is the definition for a relation from A to B. As we have seen that we express the relation using this set, where the elements are the ordered pairs A comma B, and also we have seen that these ordered pairs are members of this set A cross B. So how we are taking the ordered pairs? With some particular rule ARB. So basically in this set we are considering some of the elements ordered pair AB with a particular rule ARB. So we can say that this is a subset of A cross B. That's why we define a relation by this, in this way. So there are some different types of relations. First one, since a relation is a subset of A cross B, we know that phi is a subset of A cross B. Phi is subset of every set, so it should be a subset of A cross B also. And see, in this set phi, there are no elements. So if we consider phi as a relation, we call it a null relation. And since it has no elements, we say that there are no elements of A is related to elements of B. So in this way we express the relation that is called the null relation. Again, we know that A cross B itself is a subset of A cross B, that is called the improper subset, and depending on that we call this relation as an improper relation. And what this says is that every element of A is related to every element of B. So basically we are taking all those ordered pairs from this set, because we are taking the set itself. So we are considering all those ordered pairs. That means every element is related to some element in the set B. And if you take some proper subset of A cross B, then this relation is called the proper relation. And whenever we are taking some proper relation, we need to define some particular rule for the relation. That's why all those elements will not be in the relation. Some particular elements will be there. Okay, so this is these are the types of a relation that we study here. Later in class 12 we will see that there is another way to classify relations depending on its nature, not on the nature of the subset, but depending on specifically the rule. So the next question comes here, that how many relations we can define on two finite sets. Okay, so let us take some examples of this kind of relation, that is the null relation, the improper relation and a proper relation. So for a null relation, let us take this example. Suppose we take the set 1, 2, 3, and in B we take the elements 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, and we define the relation R from A to B as this. This is the collection of all ordered pairs AB where A square equal to B. See, it is not happening here, because if you take A as 1, then B should be 1. If you take A as 2, then B should be 4. If you take A as 3, then B should be 9. So none of the elements of A are related to the elements of B by this relation. So we can say this is a null relation, because no such ordered pair will be in this set R. So somehow if the condition fails to hold, then we will see in the set R there will be no elements. So in that case we will say that the relation is a null relation. Let us define an improper relation here. Suppose we are defining the relation, the sets are same, we are defining the relation as R from A to B, and R is equals to AB such that A is less than B. Then you see, if you are writing the elements, see 1 is less than 5, so we can write 1 5, 1 is less than 6, 1 is less than 7, 2 is less than 5, 2 is less than 6, 2 is less than 7, again 3 is less than 5, 3 is less than 6, and 3 is less than 7. See, this set is itself the cross product of A and B. So all the elements of A are related to every element of B. So for this reason we say that this relation is an improper relation. Okay. So now let us take another relation which is a proper relation. Suppose we define R as the set A ordered pair AB, where A minus B is a, say A minus B is 4. Say A minus B is minus 4. Then see, we can link the elements like this. We can take 1 5 here, then 2 6, then 3 7. So this is a relation from A to B, and we are taking some specific elements depending on this rule. So that's why it is a proper subset of the set A cross B. So for this reason we say that this relation is a proper relation. Okay. So this is the way we define different kind of relations depending on the property of subsets. Next we deal with the question that how many relations can be defined between two finite sets. Okay, so we are taking the same setup, that is R is a relation from A to B, and since it is containing all the ordered pairs depending on this relation, it is a subset of A cross B. So remember the definition of a relation, that a relation from A to B is a subset of A cross B. So now suppose it is given the number of elements in A, say m, and the number of elements in B, say k. So how many relations can be defined from A to B? This is the question. Okay, so since every relation is a subset of A cross B, that first we note here. Every relation from A to B is a subset of A cross B. So this statement is saying that if we count the number of relations from A to B, it is the same if we count the number of subsets of A cross B. So to find the number of relations, from A to B, we can count the number of elements, number of subsets of A cross B. Now, do we know how to count the number of subset of a set? See, here we know that the power set of some set, it is the set of all subsets of A. So the power set of A is the collection of all the subsets of A. So if you can count the number of elements in this set, we can count the number of subsets of it. So basically what we have to do here is to find the number of elements in the power set of A cross B, as we are finding all the subsets of A cross B, the number of subsets of A cross B. And we know that it has a formula as 2 to the power n of A. So here it should be 2 to the power n of A cross B. And in the previous video of Cartesian product, we have seen that the formula for n of A cross B is n of A into n of B. So this is the general formula to find the number of elements between two sets A and B. That is 2 to the power n of A into n of B. So if n of A is m and n of B is k, then we can write it as 2 to the power n k. So this is the number of all the relations that can be defined from A to B. Now see one thing, if it is asked to find the number of non-null relations, because whenever we are asking for the relations, we are also including the null relations. So if you are asking for the non-null relations, we have to subtract 1 from the total number of relations. So that should be 2 to the power nk minus 1. And similarly, if you are asking for the number of proper relations, then this will be the same, because when you are considering all the relations, you are also considering the improper relation. That is the A cross B, the relation A cross B. So that we have to subtract from here. So in case of proper relation, it will again be 2 to the power nk minus 1, or it is better to write it as 2 to the power na in B minus 1, because this is the general formula. Whatever in A in B, B. Okay, so let us proceed to the next thing, that is some examples. So let us take another example. Say we are defining the relation R as A is related to B if A is the square of B. See how we can write it in more simple way. We can write A R B if A is equal to B square. And suppose we are defining this relation on Z, the set of integers. So let us see which element is related to which part. So suppose we are taking the set Z as a number line like this. And again here, so that we can link the elements with arrows. So what I am saying, that A is equal to B square. So suppose we are taking A from this set and B from this set. So for 0, suppose we are taking A as 0. If you take this, that means 0 equal to B square means B should be only 0. That means the element 0 is related to the element 0. Okay. And similarly, suppose we take A as 1. So if we take 1 is equal to B square, then what should be the values of B? Since we are taking it from the set of integers, we can say B should be plus minus 1. So here this 1 will be related to minus 1 also, and 1 will be related to plus 1 also. So in this way we can see that this element 1 is related to two elements. In the similar manner, if you take B as 2, then you will see 2 is equal to, and then for simplicity you take, okay, if you take A as 2, then 2 is equal to B square. That means B is equal to plus minus 2, and C plus minus root 2, and C root 2 is nowhere in the set of integers. It is not an integer number, root 2. So there should be this element 2 should be related to no one in the set of integers. Similarly, the element 3 will not be related to any element of this set. If you take A as 4, then you will see 4 is equal to B square, and in that case you will see B should be plus minus 2. So then this element 4 will be related to 2, and also this will be related to minus 2. So in this way we can link the elements of the set Z with the elements of itself when the relation is A equal to B square. So all the square numbers will be related to its roots. That is, the relation is same. Okay, so this is the way we express the relation. And if you want to express it in the self-builder form, then you should write ordered pair AB such that A equal to B square on the set Z. So in this way we express the relation in diagrammatic form and also in the set builder form. If you want to write it in the roster form, that will look like this. See here, 0 is related to 0. That means we will take the ordered pair 0, 0. 1 is related to 1 and minus 1. So for both the elements, we will get two ordered pairs, 1, 1 and 1 minus 1. Similarly, 4 is related to two elements, 2 and minus 2. So 4, 2, 4, minus 2. See, in the intermediate part, 2 and 3 will be related to no one. So there should be no ordered pairs starting with 2 or 3. Every ordered pair here will start with a perfect square number. So what should be the next ordered pair? It should be, what is the square number after 4? It is 9. So it should be 9, 3, its root, and also its negative root, 9, minus 3. So in this way, the relation will continue to hold for other elements also. Okay, so let us continue to the next one. The next thing is the domain and range of a relation. So suppose we are defining the relation R from A to B, we can write it in this way as this. It is the collection of all ordered pairs AB where A is related to B. Then we define the term domain of the relation R as a set X belongs to A, where X, Y belongs to R, for some Y belongs to R, for some Y belongs to B. That means if you consider all the ordered pairs of R, then you are taking only the first elements of all the ordered pairs. That means if you are taking the collection of all those ordered pairs in the set R, then you are taking, for the domain you are taking all those first elements of these ordered pairs which are in R. That means all the X belongs to A such that X is related to some element Y in the set B. That means you are forming all the ordered pairs by this relation, and then you are taking only the first elements of those ordered pairs. So in the previous relation, say A is the square of B, that is R is equals to ordered pair AB, so that A equal to B square on Z. What was the set in roster form? We have seen that it should be 0, 0, then 1, minus 1, then so 1, 1 and 1, minus 1, 4, 2 and 4, minus 2, then 9, 3 and 9, minus 3, and so on to infinity. So see, if you take all the first elements of the ordered pairs, you will get this set. Domain of this R should be 0, 1, again 1, then 4, again 4, then 9, and again 9, and so on up to infinity. That means it is a set of all perfect squares. So this is the way we define the domain of a relation, and next we come to the range of a relation. So it is simple. If domain is the collection of all the first elements, then range is defined to be the set of all the second elements. Then the range is defined to be the set of all the second elements, that is y belongs to V such that ordered pair xy belongs to R or sum x belongs to A. That means it is the collection of all the second elements or all the elements of B which are related to some element of A. That means if we take y from the set B, then there should be some element x in the set A such that ordered pair xy will be in the set R. So for the previous relation, that is R equals to ordered pair AB such that A equals to B square, where it is defined on the set Z. Then again let us write the roster form. That was 0, 0, 1, minus 1, 1, we write 1, 1 first, 1, 1, 1, minus 1, 4, 2, 4, minus 2, 9, 3, 9, minus 3, and so on. So see, if you want to write the range, you have to take all the second elements. So see, what are they? The first one is 0, then it is 1, then it is minus 1, again it is 2, again minus 2, again 3, then minus 3. In this way it is continuing, and you can realize for each perfect square we can find its root as an integer number. So from this we can say the range here should be the set Z. Because whenever we are taking some perfect square, after the root we will get some integer number. Either it is positive integer or a negative integer. Okay. So in this way we can find the range of the set, range of the relation R. So let us take another relation. Suppose we are taking the set A as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are taking the relation R as ordered pair AB such that A minus B is even. So we need the difference of two elements as an even number. So what should be A and B? See the scheme. If we are taking both the numbers A and B as even, then we know that even minus even is always even. If you are taking both the numbers as odd, then their difference is again even. And if you take two different numbers, that is one is even and one is odd, then the difference will be odd. So the same case with the first one being odd and the second one being even. Then see which elements should be in the relation, which ordered pairs should be in the set R. You see, with 1, what ordered pairs we can write? With 1 it should be 3 because The difference we need is even. So 1 3, 1 5, and also see there should be 1 1. Similarly, with 2, it should be 2 2, 2 4. That's it. With 3, it should be 3 1, 3 3, 3 5. With 4, it should be 4 2 and 4 4. And with 5, it should be 5 1, 5 3, 5 5. This should be the roster form for the relation, because we need the difference to be even. So we will be taking these two possibilities. That means either both the numbers A and B will be even, like this, 2 2 2 4, 4 2 4 4, or both the numbers will be odd, like 1 3 1 5 1 1, 3 1 3 3 3 5 5 1 5 3 5 5. So let us find the domain and range for this relation. So what should be the domain? See, in the domain, it is 1 here, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. So we can say the domain is the same set as R. And also in the range, see again, we are having all the elements. That is 3, 5, 1, 2, 4. So we get all the elements. So again we write the range as also A. So here we see that range is equal to the set on which we are defining the relation. And also in the previous case, we have seen the same thing, that the range was R. So sometimes we will see that the range is not equal to the second set, that is the set on which we are defining the relation. So usually we say it as the codomain of the relation. That should be the set on which we are defining the relation. Means if you are defining a relation from A to B, then usually we will see A or some subset of A will be the domain, and this set B will be called the codomain of the relation. That means here it should be B for this relation. And clearly you can see that the range set will be either a subset of the codomain or the codomain itself. Here we are defining the relation on the set A. That means we are defining it like this, R from A to A. That's why the codomain is A here. And you can also see from here the range is also A. In different examples we can see that the codomain will be different and the range will be some subset of it. If you change the previous example, or suppose we are defining the previous relation with a little change here, like this, A square equals to B, then you will see the change. So if in this set we define this relation, what should be the ordered pairs here? Let us see. So if you are taking A as 1, then basically you are saying 1 square equals to B. That means B is equals to 1. So the ordered pair should be 1 1. Then you are saying, suppose A is equals to 2. Then you are saying 2 squared equals to B. that means B is equals to 4. So 2 should be here 4. And see, none of the other elements will be related to someone, because if you take A is equals to 3, then it will require B to be 9, which is not in the set. Also the same case with 4, because then B should be 16, and in case of 5, B should be 25. So none of the elements are there. So we can say that 3, 4 and 5 are not related to any of the elements. So the relation will be with these two elements only. So then see, the domain here is only 1 and 2, and the range here is 1, 4. Though the codomain here is E, that is the whole set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the difference between range and codomain. Usually the codomain will be the set on which we are defining the relation, and the set range will be either the whole codomain or it should be the subset of the codomain. Next we come to inverse relation for some relation. Okay, for inverse relation we will see that it is saying that if some relation is there, we are changing its direction. That means when we are saying that R is a relation from A to B, we usually say that some element of A is related to some element of B. That means we take the element A as the first one and B as the second one. The inverse relation is usually denoted by this symbol R inverse, and it is defined to be, so with that we write the relation like this: ordered pair AB such that A is related to B. So the inverse relation is denoted by this symbol R inverse, and it is defined to be the collection of all the reverse ordered pairs, that is B comma A, such that A comma B is in R. So what is the procedure? You take the relation R, take all the ordered pairs in it, and then reverse the order for each element, and the new collection will be called the inverse relation for the relation R. So the example we have taken just before this, that was on the set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the relation was AB such that A square equals to B. We have seen the elements were 1, 1 and 1, 1 and 2, 4. So then the inverse relation here is 1, 1 itself, because if you change the order, it is remaining the same. And for the second element, it should be 4, 2. So see, we can write this one in roster form like this. It is the elements A comma B, where B square equals to A. See, we can write it in the roster form A comma B, where B square equals to A, or you can write A equals to B square. So see, there is a change occurring in the relation. If R was A square equals to B, then R inverse will be A equal to B square. The positions of A and B are changing.